Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel in Arizona Arena, Pat Fleming presents the 2022 International Open. Thank you. The International is brought to you by Accu-Stats, and it features the best players in the world competing in 3 disciplines, 1 pocket, 10 ball, and 9 ball over the next 9 days. Now, we want to say a special thank you to our 3 signature sponsors who have supported this event for so many years: Diamond Billiard Products, Simonis Cloth, and Aramith. These companies represent the very best our industry has to offer. Thank you very much. And of course, last but not least, we couldn't do this without all of you, each and every one of you that have come here in person and those viewing at home. Thank you very much. Your loyalty and love for this game is what makes all of us a very special pool family. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to open up today's programming, and throughout the day you'll be seeing 1 pocket. It's now my pleasure to introduce our competitors for this international match. Our first player comes to us from Vietnam. He's a former Asian Games champion. He's sponsored by Pichower. Would you please welcome Phuc Long Nguyen. Thank you. And his opponent from Venezuela, playing in his first International Open, sponsored by Mez Q's. He's known as Golden Boy. Please welcome Jesus Atencio. Okay, gentlemen, please lag for the break at this time. Your official timekeeper is Dwayne Payne. Now I'm going to send it upstairs to the comm box to Mark Wilson and John Schmidt. Take it away, guys.
We're live at the International Open 1 Pocket Championship. The broadcast team here is featuring John Schmidt. I'm Mark Wilson. And John, what do you see in this one?
Well, I'm actually not familiar with these two, their 1 pocket games. I know Jesus is a great rotation player, and the other player for Vietnam has won the Asian Games, so he's an incredible pool player. I just don't know how familiar he is with 1 pocket. It'll be interesting to see. He won the lag, though, and that's big in a race to 3, of course.
Yeah, you get the first and the last break if it goes hill-hill. And that's definitely a decided advantage. The tables are real slick now, and sometimes players like to move that cue ball off the rail on that opening break just to take away that corner ball.
That's right.
When leads off.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, now that break there, that's really kind of a telltale sign he's not familiar with 1 pocket, because that's just, I hate to bash the guy right off the bat, but that's just not the way you break them. So,
well, it's not bashing. That's just pointing out that he does not know the break. He did not use inside spin.
Right.
He was actually, it's not going to be a good break.
No.
Actually, winning the leg is not going to be valuable.
Right, yeah, you're going to have your serve broke right off the bat. Jesus can bank this into the 7 and hide up behind the pink 4. Nice little shot.
And that completely mitigates the break, and then now it looks like the Atencio is broken rather than Nguyen.
You know, something I noticed over the last 20, 25 years of seeing 1 pocket is, I think a lot of people think when the cloth is new and the pockets are not super tight that it's an all-offensive game and you don't have to know how to move. But I disagree. I think it's the dead opposite. On a table like this, you have to know how to move well and defend, because it's very easy to sell out. When the pockets are tiny and the cloth is broken in, even when you mess up, it's not really a sellout. So, the good movers, I think, have an advantage in these conditions. And people have argued with me and said, no, the mover's better on a tight table. But this table here, you better defend greatly or you're going to get penalized. And what fantastic conditions. Simonis cloth and brand new balls and great lighting. I mean, just makes me really want to play watching this. Nice shot there.
Well, Nguyen played safe on the wrong side of the stack, and he will not get the best of this exchange. The idea was good. He was trying to move a ball on this side, but he didn't do enough with the cue ball. And so twice in a row that Atencio's come to the table with the decided advantage in the ball distribution.
And I have to commend him for, let's say he hasn't played one pocket. He's showing the courage to get up, pay his entry fee, get up there and play at a game he's not familiar with. And there's a lot to be said for having the guts to do that.
Right.
And he's going to learn from this,
And he has a puncher's chance. But
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
a great player.
Yeah,
if he gets open, he can definitely run 8 and out.
Good cue ball there. That was a tough shot being jacked up out of the stack, but that's I think Jesus has a free. What I kind of like to do here is instead of play the 10 into the 3 so much, I'm worried more about the cue ball with high left English going up into the stack and laying against the 2-5. And that's like checkmate if you could put the cue ball against a pile.
Right, and especially if you get the 10 on your side,
Yeah.
or it redistributes the balls on your side. But the cue ball is the priority for sure.
Yeah, really is. Wow, is he considering cutting the 6? No, okay, he's going to bank the 10. And he's a youngster, so I don't know how much one pocket he's played, but, he's in dead stroke, playing great pool, going to all the events. And that's a good shot. He's got his pocket surrounded.
And they've got to introduce the 2 ball there to cut off the 10, it looks like.
That's right. Yeah, Nguyen, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, he's in big trouble here. I kind of like him thinning off the 2 with left English and trying to lay the cue ball up against the 3, especially if the 11 doesn't bank back into the stack. But, sometimes you're just limited and you have to just try to survive. Okay, it looks like he's going for the right play here. Nice touch. Yeah, that's about all he could do there.
Yeah. He did not try to tuck it underneath the 3 and possibly risk giving something away there. So it was a conservative but smart, well-executed play.
Now, I had the misfortune of playing Cliff Joyner a lot back 15, 20 years ago, and he was as good as anybody at banking this 3 back. And on new cloth, this works so good because the side spin on the 3 stays on it all the way to the end rail, and he just banks these right in and runs out. I think this would be a decent time, as long as nothing's dead out of the stack. He might just come off the 10 and go 2 rails up into the pile. Nothing wrong with that.
You have to do a good job with the cue ball here. Yeah,
he kind of tied up his own the 10-7.
Well, he didn't defend the 3. It doesn't appear either. That's the maybe the most criminal part of that shot.
Right.
Is you had to protect that 3, otherwise you give away the advantage. Now he's got a bank on the 11.
Well, you don't want this to go in. You want it to hang.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, nice shot there. Like you said, he's got a puncher's chance. He doesn't look like he's played a lot of one pocket. I hate to judge his whole one pocket career off half a game, but just that opening break tells me this is a new game to him. And it'll be interesting to see how he does.
That's what we get. We get world-class players here, and sometimes they're out of their comfort zone, but it's interesting because you really get to see a different side of it, thought-wise and execution-wise.
Right. Yeah, I think the only shot here is to kick the 11 in. Wow, this is a tougher angle to kick it in from. What a shot if this double kisses it in. Nice shot. Well, I don't see much here. If he can come off the 6 with right English and lay behind the 7, maybe get the 6 on his side of the table.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, that'll work.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh, now the 1 falls in late.
Well, Jesus can 3-rail the. It's funny. My dad's watching. He loves to 3-rail the ball. He can he can 3-rail this 3 ball and follow forward. Yeah, I'll tell my dad the right shot. And he, no, I'm shooting this 3-railer. I'm like, okay, Pops. But this is a time where I think it's laying just right.
And you're not risking anything.
Yeah, nothing's dead out of the pile or anything. I do feel that this game takes longer to learn how to play right than straight pull or 9-ball or any of them. And I remember back in the late 90s playing one pocket with Jack Cooney, and I kind of thought I knew what I was doing. And after watching so many broadcasts where I learned a ton from Jeremy Jones and Josh Roberts and YouTube and Bill Cardona and you and all the great one-pocket players over the years, it was amazing to me how much I didn't know. And I thought I knew what I was doing. And I was playing high-dollar one-pocket, and I was clueless.
Well, a really good shot there to make a combination bank, long rail. It was primarily designed as a defensive measure, but worked out. Now he's at the table shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, and as good as he's executing, he figures to do some damage here. I don't know if the 10 goes, though. Well, it looks like it does. He looks like he's playing with a Predator Q and a Revo shaft, which, I've played pool with a lot of Qs over the years, and I just think they play amazing. I know I sound biased because I represent Predator, but I mean, you see all these great players using them. There's a reason why. Yeah, nice touch there. It's the perfect blend, Mark, of like low deflection and power, because you can't usually have both.
Yeah.
These cues draw the ball amazing, yet can do side spin with ease, and it's just they've got it dialed in. I'd like to have had one of these Predator cues 25 years ago when I was first starting pool.
Well, I do believe the evolution in technology has come a long ways to the point where now we used to always say, well, these are low score, low. But I think finally we've got there where you're not sacrificing power to
That's right, yeah. You're not playing with a little skinny tuning fork,
Yeah. So is he looking at how he wants to go into these balls to possibly open something up?
Yeah, I think so. I'll tell you, the player that's a shame that the cameras weren't on them their whole one-pocket career was Cliff Joyner. I've played him hundreds of hours, and he shot some of the most exotic shots that were just so mind-bending after he hit them, and all your money ended up in his pocket. But he just, his era was kind of before all these live streams and all this stuff. But, man, was he an incredible player.
He's looking like he thinks he can make the 15,
yeah.
But it looks like it's aimed low to me if you don't use a lot of draw.
Right.
So
that's right.
I think maybe just stick it on the stack and just let the 15 go over by your pocket and protect it if you can.
Nothing wrong with that. And if you want to get wild, like if I was way behind in the game and trying to run 6, I might hit it with draw and draw back over behind the pile.
Right.
But I think he's ahead in the game. Just nip it over there.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, it would go. Okay. Yeah, and safely go.
Mm-hmm. Now, if the 9's dead, you can hit the 2, 5, 13 and make the 9, which he might be doing.
No,
he's just sticking in the stack. Yeah,
I think he just moved the 2 on his side.
Yeah, now see that shot there, it's not going to ruin you, but whenever you have a chance to put the 2 all the way over on your side, go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Because you can do that and stick in the pile there. You want to do maximum damage. Whenever you come to the table, it's easy to get lazy, but you want to put the balls, in spots that's going to help you.
Right. Yeah, you want to extract maximum value from these little tactical exchanges, even though they don't win the game at that moment down the road, because now that 2 ball offers a bank from a lot of different places.
And it can be a starter ball to all of a sudden the guy gets that and then runs 6, and you go, how did this happen? So
right. When you could have easily moved it another 3 feet and the cue ball didn't have to travel at all.
That's right.
And if you just get just another 3 feet, boy, it's really powerful down the road.
And those are the subtle things, like when I was saying earlier, where I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't realize how crucial that was, little stuff like that, until you lose enough money and then realize, nice shot.
It's a great teacher. Good speed. Yeah. Laid the cue ball on the rail, maybe even got the 2 ball in between the 13 and the...
Mm-hmm. I think the 2 rail kick behind the 13 and the cue ball kind of tickies up the rail is about all he's got here.
Boy, his cue is long. Look at
Boy,
how
isn't
long
it?
that is.
Yeah.
Taller than he is.
Yeah, it's funny I see that, and of course you're like 6'4", and you play with a 60-inch cue or 61.
Yeah, 60.
Yeah, well, okay, so you kind of basically have a. Yeah, I go back and forth with that. I see Joshua Filler play with a standard length cue, win everything, and then I see Shaw or somebody like that with the long extension, win everything, and I keep trying the extension.
What a hit!
What a shot!
hit.
And open the ball. Oh, he got unlucky there. Now he could.
Yes.
Now think about what we just said. That 2-ball almost stole him the game. Now if that 2-ball was way up in the corner, like us old wise one pocket, players, you couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
You almost won the game with that shot. Especially on equipment like this where the ball's open easily.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah,
unlucky to
exactly.
get no
One good shot. Really nice
shot.
stroke.
Oh,
He got unlucky though to get no shot there.
Wynn plays with a P-shower cue.
Okay.
Ken Schumann informed us, and it's got the overlinked shaft. P-shower quality product for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good people.
Well, he's going to try to play a ticky on this 13. This has to be hit just right. He hit it unbelievable. Watch this rail, ball rail.
Oh, wow.
Nice little ticky there.
Tremendous.
I'm sitting here saying this guy doesn't know one pocket. He'll probably give me 10-8 later.
Well, he's a fearless shot maker.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't hesitate on that 2-ball. He saw an opportunity.
And when the balls are near the pockets that are in play here, I mean, the game is far from over. Even though Jesus needs, I think, 2.
Right.
He
60.
for sure, like I was saying earlier, you have to move good to defend on a table like this because banks go in easier, combos, everything. Wow, what a shot. Almost made that.
Really good speed. Yeah, the whole thing well designed, well thought out. Controlled the cue ball.
Yeah.
Protected himself.
Well, the problem here is, if you do anything with this 13, you're leaving a bank on the 12. Oh, wow, that was interesting. Look at this shot. If that goes in, he's got the 9 and maybe steal the game.
Yeah. Well, just what you said, this new cloth, new equipment.
Right.
Boy, it's easy to have something slip away from you.
Yeah, I really believe that guys like Tony Chohan and the very experienced one-pocket players are tougher to beat on equipment like this. And people think, oh, no, I could beat him on a loose. No, because anything that you do that even resembles a moving error, they will tax you.
Oh, he let up on his stroke.
A little bit.
Yeah, he certainly didn't. That was not an intentional foul. A lot of times when balls are hanging, you see an intentional foul, but that wasn't one.
I don't think, it's going to hurt him too bad, but you're right. He was trying to just stop his cue ball there.
I'm kind of glad. It makes me feel better about my game.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So now Nguyen is way in this match.
Yeah. Well, if he goes, I mean,
So clearly,
he's got to cut the 9, but it's not going to lead much.
right.
The problem with this cut, a lot of times you go for this cut, and let's say you overcut it and the 9 moves back over, and then they have kind of a free bank on the 12. So you got to hit this good.
Well, and this only leads to 1.
Right. I think you got to shoot it, don't you think, Mark? You got to shoot it, but it just doesn't. I mean, okay, that's fine.
And he may very well have to concede this ball. I thought maybe he should play off the 10 and just leg the cue ball into the 8 there and get something on his side.
Yeah, maybe open the balls up and put the cue ball back on the end rail. Or
no, I was saying leave it, just lay it on the 8.
Yeah.
Just roll it down there. Just even if you foul doing it. Just,
there'd be nothing wrong with that at all.
Because this is only going to get you 1 at best.
I don't like kicking this out because you can scratch. I just would make this and lay the cue ball up against the 5, 12, or 13, I think that is. Now you got to watch leaving a bank on the 5, though. Yeah, I suppose that's okay. But see, now here's where like a Cliff Joyner, the good movers, they're going to take a foul here up against the stack, and now all of a sudden you find yourself in trouble.
He can also, inside spin thin the 8 and just roll the cue ball back into the stack that way too.
That's
he doesn't
right.
have to take a foul, but it's probably.
No, I like
better
your
to
shot
take a
off
foul.
the 8 and into the stack. That's definitely good. Opening up these 2 balls wouldn't kill him either, and just put the cue ball way up on the end rail.
Mm-hmm.
I like your shot off the 8 a little bit more though, but there's nothing wrong with this.
Well, he's being aggressive.
Oh, he went for the 2 railer. Well, he was trying to. Well, okay, actually, that could have worked. I mean, when you're behind, you do have to be aggressive. I mean, now you shoot the 1, you lose the whole game if you miss it. Possibly. This is an interesting. I'd try to kick behind the 9 here.
And he needs 3. It's not like just this ball gets him out or anything. There's no position to play other than maybe a cross-corner bank, but you can't really play that.
I would not shoot this. This is a good way to lose because you're going to win the game anyway. But if you miss this, now you lose the game. Well, he hit it great, though.
Boy,
Man,
he
sure did.
Peered it right on in there.
Yeah. See, us senior citizens, we don't shoot that ball. I'd be scared to death shooting it. Yeah. That looked like a basketball through a Cheerio right there. He just whipped it in like it was a hanger. I mean, you lose the whole game if you miss it. I would have kicked behind the 9, but I'm chicken. So, I mean, I don't know. On this equipment, though, if you're going to shoot at 1, I guess that's on this equipment you can do it, but you miss it, you'd regret it.
Well, I think after that scratch, you want to punish yourself. I'm going to make myself shoot this tough shot and get that ball back that I gave up.
I think he's banking the 12 here.
Boy,
Which is
angle.
okay as long as you leave him on the 9 where he can't do much with it. He can only get 1. Yeah, because you only need. Yeah, there you go. Nice touch. Yeah, good shot. Now Nguyen has to follow. Yeah. He has to make the 9. Well, I think you try to make the 9, and well, I don't know. You could try to. I'll tell you the shot I kind of like is rail first on the 9.
Yeah.
And going 2 rails into the side of the balls, open them up, try to run them all.
On slick cloth, on worn out cloth. I don't know if we can grab the overhead real quick, but if we can, John, let's see, hang on a second. If we got the overhead, not yet. Well, anyway, John's talking about rail first off the long rail on the 9. We don't have it.
Yeah.
So, but you got to use a little bit of.
I think that's what he's doing. He went soft, though. Well, okay. Now follow this in, and you're still in the game. The balls are all in play. They're tied up.
This doesn't look like it's that easy to follow.
No, it's not. There. You got to hit it with a little right English, so when it hits that left facing, it carries it. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, that was a smart play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he went rail first on the 9 to get him closer to that ball so he had more control. We're dealing with a world-class player, so his pool IQ is going to be real high. Mm-hmm. Even if he's not familiar with one pocket, he's going to do very smart things with the pool balls.
Well, you said it best in the opening with the fact that he's a little bit inexperienced, but he's brave enough to put his entry feet in and play, and he's going to learn quickly. He has what's toughest to get, which is execution. That's knowledge that comes.
Oh, yeah, you can watch a few videos. I kind of like possibly banking the 5, 3 railing the 5 and sticking against the pile. He looks like he's maybe. Well, I don't know what he's doing here. I think he's just knocking a couple to his side and come. Okay, well, that's.
This guy's a proven shooter. The 5 ball's sticking out there.
I think that's a sign of just being young and hasn't played a ton of one pocket. He should have probably 3 railed that ball, stayed against the pile.
But definitely not open them up when you need 2, right?
That's right.
And the other guy needs everything now.
That's right.
If he makes one good shot here.
Yeah.
Not an easy place to make a good shot from. I'm not saying that. But.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anything from here. I mean, he could...
Is there a 3-railer on the 14?
Yeah, the 3-rail on the 14, and your cue ball moves left into the lane of it. Maybe he's going to do it with the 8, but that don't seem like it's laying right.
He might just be parking the cue ball. And
wow. Well, am I going brain dead? That was his hole. I got the.
Yeah.
I went. Yeah.
He was trying to. He just missed. Is all that happened there?
He just shot it right in.
But I'm saying he missed. He was trying to hit the end rail and bank it down table.
Okay,
but I thought he should do it with power.
I do too. Yeah, he confused me there.
Jesus needs the ball.
Yeah, he needs to get balls out of play if he can. I kind of like shooting the 12 into the 5 and just start knocking them up table.
And just pin the cue ball to the end rail there.
I mean, unless he's got a real free bank here, of course, but it doesn't look like it has a lane, this 13 past the 9, but he can see better than me. With
but
some inside,
opening these up is no good.
Dangerous,
They don't go to his pocket, but they go to yours.
He did have a lane. Well, nice shot, and he held the cue ball.
And game number 1 goes to Jesus Atencio.
Yeah, this one pocket is just a great game. It's probably my favorite game of all the games. I think it's the most fair. Both players get to, shoot and have the alternate break and everything, and you can always defend yourself with a foul or a kick or something. So, it's it's a fantastic game.
It takes a while for players to recognize when they should take an intentional foul. I think that's one of the biggest strategy errors that you will see with inexperienced players. They need to lay back one more shot oftentimes, and instead they try to get hyper-aggressive because they're in a bad place.
Well, I'm seeing that kind of with the younger players playing the straight pull tournaments, too. I watched some of the matches, and, I mean, I don't know if anybody's told them, but, you don't have to shoot at everything. You're allowed to duck and take a foul. I mean, they just shoot at break balls from a mile away, and, so. But, yeah, the fouls are very handy if you know how to use them.
Atencio breaking from a diamond inside, but he had inside spin on, so trying to take that corner ball away from getting out. We didn't cover the rules, but if you make a ball on the break here, the rack starts over. Even if you scratch, it's immaterial. So that's interesting. And then we're also playing base of the ball on the head string, which I approve of that. I detest the any part touching rule.
Now, I think he just pockets the one on the side and rolls the cue ball up to the top right corner. I really am a fan of leaving somebody 8-9 feet away, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can get that ball back to your side.
The problem is, again, on the wrong side of the stack, and that almost never works out world class. It does once in a great while, but that's always got to be last choice, not first choice.
Yep.
He's deployed that one twice, and he just figures to get the worst of it.
Well, it'll be a good learning experience for him playing this tournament, and now he's going to be interested in watching the matches. And if he watches the last 3 or 4 matches where you see the great movers, you take a guy like Nguyen who's got great pool ability, his one pocket will just go straight up.
Now, Jesus can put the 10 ball on his side and get the cue ball on the end rail.
Nice shot, good touch.
And then now that 10's hard to get out of there.
Yeah, this is, like I said, Alan Hopkins taught me 20 years ago. He said one pocket is a race to the end rail. And what he meant was the first guy that puts balls near his hole and puts the cue ball on the end rail wins. And, I mean, it's true. Look at how precarious this is right here. I mean, well, he did real well there.
He sure did.
Yeah.
But he had to execute a good shot.
Now, this is where, I remember like Cliff Joyner he'll kick the cue ball 2 rails up by the 11 and take a foul. He does not want to leave his opponent near his work. He's going to leave you 8-9 feet away and say, let's see what you can do.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get the overhead, but if we can.
And the way these balls are laying,
There. No, we didn't. Well, anyway.
Don't you
John's saying just kick 2 rail.
Don't try to touch a ball because you're jacked up. You just hit it. Just take a 2-rail kick up to where Jesus is standing.
That's not a shot that younger players tend to deploy, but like you said, Cliff Joyner, the master of one pocket.
Oh yes, yeah. And my era. I mean, I got to watch Jeremy Jones, Scott Frost, Gabe Owen, Tony Chohan, Alex Pegulayan. I mean, If there's any better movers than those guys, I'd like to see it. Efren, of course, I've watched him play a million hours, and I think he'd kick 2 rails right up there to Jesus' left elbow. See, this right here,
boy.
even if you hit it good, you're leaving your opponent so close to his work that he's going to be able to do damage. Now you shoot the 2-5-8, chip them open to your side, lay the cue ball right in the pile. You could 3-rail the 9 to your hole and stick. I like the 2-5-8 better.
Yeah, it's a soft shot. Even if you foul there, just make sure you take care of the cue ball. And he just wasn't able to get the power on
it's so
that.
hard to hit that correctly.
And now the cue ball's free. Now,
Right.
This Jesus can do whatever he needs to do or wants to do.
Mike Siegel's playing in the one pocket, and that'll be very interesting to watch. I've never seen him play one pocket.
Oh, yeah. I remember one time we were in San Francisco, and Ronnie Allen wanted to play him when Ronnie was in the peak of his powers, and Mike was the straightest shooter going at that time. And it ended up that they conceded Ronnie would play him 8-7. And Ronnie got 4 or 5 games ahead right away, but then Mike came back and ended up breaking even. But I couldn't even imagine giving Siegel a ball when he shot straight.
Yeah.
Ronnie was not known for straight shooting, but great moving.
Oh, yeah.
And Ronnie, he was so fun. He had the crowd laughing.
I was going to say, can you imagine them two, the one-liners and the –
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
It was a great matchup.
Now, you got to watch the 15 being dead. Nah, it's not dead. Sometimes you can kick at this 15, the cue ball laying the balls, but it's not. So now here, the way the 110's laying, you could maybe bank the 11 or even the 9 and lay the cue ball up on the end rail. Because that 110 is, I wouldn't call that dead or anything. I kind of like shooting the 9 and just rolling the cue ball up to the end rail, but you know what? I'm getting confused with the pockets. No, Jesus is to the right, so that was an okay shot there. Now he needs to bank this 9, win, and get the cue ball behind the 13. Man, that's laying good to do that.
And the worst, well, you're not going to sell out the whole game, but this is better.
Well, that was better. Yeah, that was better. Let's go with that. And he knocked a few to his side. If you can shoot the 14 and stick and just knock the 14 into the 7, 10, 5, lay against the 8, and don't be cutting it. Just shoot straight on. Oh, man. Yeah, Nguyen is, and I say this the most respectful way, but he's just not familiar with the game, and you can see that. But what's interesting about that is you get to see how, well, when you watch the great one-pocket players, you won't see them do these little subtle mistakes.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to see what actually happens when you don't do things right.
Yeah.
It's like me when it comes to making money. I'm not very familiar with it. So I'm gonna make mistakes.
Oh, great shot
Nice
there.
shot.
Yeah. Took care of the cue ball, pinned it to the 8.
I try to play one pocket with those big extensions on the cue, and it just does not feel right. It's a game of – it's the one pool game I just cannot play with the big weight hanging off the back end. I think rotation, it feels pretty good.
Well, there's so many little short strokes, and then you have that great big long cue out there. It'd be like taking a sledgehammer to do trim work.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it feels like. But once you get used to it, I guess it's, all right. But I noticed, playing straight pool with a 3-inch extension on the back, it saves my back because I can just reach everything without leaning out and bracing myself so much. But one pocket, not so much. Now, he's going for this bank, I think. Well, he had a chance to really get going there. Good hit. Now, I might bank the 8 here and let the cue ball just go up Well, man, the scratch is on. You can clip the 9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could look good if you make the bank. You look like a genius, but this can blow the game because then,
Right.
even if you leave him a big cut on the 9, he's got such a big pocket with the 6 there. So you're selling out the 9 if you get the cue ball up past it in any way at all.
And the straight back also is helped.
The
by
straight
the 6,
back
so.
is easier. Yeah, that's right. I think he's shooting it though. Oh well, he hit it nice. Yeah, he held the cue ball beautifully. But see here, you got to shoot this 5 ball and go right off the 7 into the 1-5 and just bet the whole game on it.
I think that's, once he sees go time, I think that's what he knows that's where he needs to make hay.
That's right. Yeah, because you're not going to get a better look to steal this game than right here. I'd shoot this with some pace. Try to knock the 10 back to my side. Oh, he overcut it a little bit, maybe. Okay. Well, the hitting it softer makes the pocket play bigger, so there's a time and place for that, of course. I tell you, if he could, I mean, this is difficult, and you paint yourself into a corner if you mess it up. But he can go high right English, 3 rails, and get on the 1, and then he's got possibly the 5-13s dead. But this can go real bad if he might just play for the bank on the 8. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either. But actually, I like this better now that I look at it because he might be able to make the bank and slide up for those 3 I was just talking about.
Looks like he got up in the kiss zone now.
Maybe, right? No, he's babying this soft, isn't he?
And that's going to tend to hit the 7.
Oh,
no,
shot.
no problem. Good shot.
Yeah, nothing wrong with what he did there. I mean, he's leading the game 4-0, so there's no reason to panic and try to do some trick shot there like I was talking about. Now I kind of like knocking balls out of play. Just draw off the 10, down behind the 7.
Using the side rail.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah.
You just draw right to the side rail and down with some bottom right English.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that's not gonna kill you, but you don't want to leave the cue ball just out in the middle of the table like that if you can help it.
I think that's that little fragment that you're talking about that, we all started off there, but now have learned that when you're playing a dangerous player, they can make too many things
Well,
happen.
in a race to 3, it won't show up, but if you play a guy an 8 ahead set over 16 hours and you just do a few things, it adds up. And, you leave Cliff Joyner out in the middle of the table like this enough times over 12, 15 hours, it's going to show up.
Good shot.
Yeah.
Very productive.
Now just get that 7 out of play, knock it up table.
Well, I'd be looking at that 1 ball. Can I throw the 1 ball in?
Yeah, my dad would be trying to find a 3-railer right here, but just get the 7 out of play.
It almost looks like the 1's throwable, though.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It's close. He's now examining it, and I don't know if he can. He's looking at the 7. Maybe something.
Yeah, I think that 10-1 is off just enough. He what in the world is he doing?
Stopping right on the 1.
Just staying on there and trying to put the 10 by his
pin to the 1? No, he's banking.
Oh, wow.
Naked.
What a shot.
Boy, you're not kidding. What a shot.
Man, that's dangerous because if that ball hits the side rail, it banks back over and Jesus is straight in, But courageous shot and well executed.
Now he's got a bank, and this leads to the 13.
Yeah.
Or no, that's the 12.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that's the 12, but yeah. Oh, he just overcut it a smidge. Good cue ball, though. Jesus in big trouble here. I like just shooting this 12 ball at our left side of the 7 with some pace and trying to jiggle them both out of there.
Just what you said about leaving the cue ball out in the middle of the table, didn't that come back to bite him then, right? Because that led to that bang.
Yeah, if you can freeze the cue ball on the rails, the back rail or the end rail, or down by the wrecking it. There, that's a nice shot. That's the shot there.
Boy, real good shot.
Yeah, well executed.
How about the 2-ball straight?
Well,
back?
yeah, because if you bank the 2 and make it great, if you miss it, well, actually, if you run right into the 11, Jesus doesn't have anything. I like the 2 better than this. This bank here, depending on how you shoot it, it can sell out. If you can lag it like that, it's okay.
Boy, he
Nice
throws
touch.
good.
Yeah, nice shot.
He's hit every lag bank
Yes.
really good.
He sure
Those
has.
are treacherous.
Very. Now just roll the 14, maybe off the 3, and just roll the cue ball forward a little bit. You're trying to just put balls out of play. You're up 6-0. You should not be even looking at anything offensive here at all, but I think he is. No. Oh, he is. He's
4
banking
ball.
the 4. Don't bank the 4, Nguyen. Oh, well, bank the 4, Nguyen.
Yeah. All right. Didn't hurt him.
No. Yeah, I mean, that was the wrong shot with the count. Relative to the count, when you're up 6-0, you don't shoot that unless.
Well, you can't win with it, but you can lose with it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It'd be different if he could get another ball.
But he might be saying to himself, "Look, I don't know the game. I'm not a great mover. I'm just going to shoot at everything that sticks out." So.
And he clearly hits them all good.
Yeah, he did.
He banks well. Nice stroke.
But let's say Jesus gets a shot right here and runs 6 or 7 or 8, then you remember that and go, wow, maybe I could have just played safe there and tied up the balls. And like I said, those are the kind of shots I shot when I was 24, thinking, how'd I hit it,
Yeah.
I looked like I was dumping my backer, but I was my backer,
Oh, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, that sure was. But he's
Ooh.
got to cut. He might even be able to cut the 4 and carry the 11 to his pocket.
If I was him, I would just go
Yeah.
all out for the 4.
Yeah, just smooth it soft.
At the very least, hang it.
That's right. That's how I like to shoot it. Just lag it over to your pocket. Don't worry about the cue ball so much.
If Jesus runs out from here, just shake his hand.
Get his autograph, exactly.
Nothing. He overcut it.
But that's the benefit of that pocket speed. It'll stay right there. And now Jesus has to run all these balls with one hanging in your holes.
Right.
I like the way he played that.
I agree. Yeah.
Because if you get cute and you try to carry the 11, now the 4 leaves town and, you don't gain anything.
And it's far more missable. You can do something horrendous.
Well, it can double the point and jiggle over to his pocket or, all that good stuff.
Yeah, Jesus is going to be forced to ultimately concede this 4-ball.
Well, I think, he needs to run a few and then follow the 4 in. Forget the 2-9. Don't be trying to get on the 9 right now because you can hook yourself.
Well, he can't really follow it in unless he takes care of a bunch of stuff down table.
That's right.
'Cause you're just never going to come out of that exchange good.
No.
So he's got to run some balls with the ball hanging here. You can lose, but you're not going to win on this inning no matter what you do.
Well, the way the new cloth lets go, I might go underneath the 2, just like this. Oh, well, he went for the 9.
Went right at
wow,
the
and he hit
2.
it perfect. Look at this. Oh, I thought he was going to get behind the 9. Well, this is actually maybe better because if he does manage to make this, he needs to run into the 3 here and create kind of a lane for the 7. Yeah, it'd be nice to draw right off the left side of the 3. Oh, what a shot. Oh, well, of course, your make percentage goes down when you try to do all that. But, all right, so score 6-1 for...
Yeah, I think he's going to just cut it to 3 here.
Yeah.
If he makes the 3, he wins the game. If he misses, he's on the hill.
The table looks like a little bar table out there with that cue standing next to the table. I know, it really is. Super.
Yeah, it's really a long cue, no doubt. Taller than Nguyen. And he hit it perfect. He hit it perfect. And good speed. This is game ball. This will tie the match up at 1 game apiece.
With capturing matches on video when Jesus is 50 years old, which is like 40 years from now or something. He'll watch this match and go, oh yeah, I should have done that. And I just think back to the mid '90s when I was first learning one pocket, and I kind of thought I had an idea how to play the game. And boy, I tell you, I look now at it, just all the stuff I've learned watching all the great players, and it's just the most complicated game because it really takes. I think it takes maybe 6, 8, 10 years to like learn to really play it correctly.
Well, think back in the day, we didn't have technology,
right?
So you had to learn the old way, with get in there and lose your money.
Well, I'll tell you how that's how I learned. And I used to rent Accu-Stat videos, and I used to rent 2 or 3 at a time at Hard Times in Bellflower. And boy, I'd watch the straight pull matches and the one pocket matches. And I've seen you play matches. You played great, and it's like, really, no, there's some matches of you, and boy, I'll tell you what, I learned quite a bit watching all those. I probably watched 200 Accu-Stat matches over the years.
I bet. Probably more than that.
Oh yeah. I watched The Color of Money with Strickland and Efren, and you did the commentary for that, and man, I was glued to that.
Yeah, still a fantastic match even today.
Oh man.
14. Okay.
Nice shot. If it goes, it can go off the 2 there.
It was a much better break, though, by Nguyen. He did use inside spin there.
Yeah.
I think he kind of went to school on Jesus' break and saw what he did. No, really.
I kind of like him banking this 14 into the 8 and the cue ball going between the 11-6. And if it can jiggle through and get over to the other side of the table, he could do damage here. Don't hit the 11, though, and open it up. Don't. Ooh. Wow. Well, yeah, that could work, too. I kind of like going between those balls, though, because what he was trying to do, if it doesn't come off right, you're leaving the cue ball exposed.
Hard to tell what he can do with the 14.
Yeah, if you can see the 13, I like him banking the 13 into the stack and trying to keep the cue ball behind the 8. But I can't see if he's got a route to the 13. I think he does. Boy, this is dangerous here, messing with this 8. Oh, what a shot. He beat the kiss by a millimeter. Oh, boy, that was a great shot.
I'm not kidding. And, Nguyen's very fortunate that 8 ball didn't drop there.
Mm-hmm. I think you change your styles, too, for the player you're playing. If you're playing a mediocre player and you're giving them a big spot, you can go rail first on this 8 and put the cue ball on the end rail where Nguyen's standing, and they will usually, make a mess of it. Mm-hmm. A great player, though, you might want to just make the 8 and hook him behind the 2.
Right.
But or even a great player, you might put them on the end rail and dare them to shoot the 2. They're not going to do that. Yeah, I like going rail first on the 8 and putting the cue ball way upstream. It just limits their control so much. What on earth is he doing here? Well, I mean, yeah, that's gonna end up bad there. He can shoot the 14, 11, 8, stay behind the 13, or something along those lines, or even just.
No disrespect, but that's the third time in 2 games that we've played safe on the wrong side of the stack, and it just never works out. I mean, rarely is that ever the play, especially with one hanging.
Sure, and again, I really just commend the guy for playing one pocket, which he's probably, Vietnam, I don't think plays a lot of it. So he's out there trying, and hats off to him for that. Because when I'm playing a game, like I don't play bank pool, I won't even enter the tournament because I just feel so stupid out there. Like I don't know how to play, So the guy's figuring it out on the fly. All he has to do is just watch the last 4 or 5 matches with all the great players, and his moving will go up quite a bit. It was like when the Efren and Orkulo after a month, they play good.
Right. Well, earlier you were talking about great one-pocket players, but you didn't mention Bustamante.
Oh, yeah, he's phenomenal, of course. Yeah, I couldn't name them all, but he's Bustamante is a beast, yeah.
He can power stun that ball forward and move 4 balls on his side, and the cue ball trickles ahead 3 inches and pins you.
No, he's a phenomenal player.
What a talent.
Yep, absolutely. Now he's got a free bank here because the 10-13 or 10-12 are tied up. Yeah, nice shot.
Boy, he hit it good.
Mm-hmm.
Controlled the cue ball. Boy, I thought that would drop for sure.
Right.
Wasn't that?
Yeah, this is.
I guess they're 4 1/4.
But see, all of this right here is kind of a byproduct of playing, safe on the wrong side of the stack.
Right.
Yeah, and these are 4 1/4 inch pockets, which I think is right because when you have the new cloth and the dry air and the polished balls, a 4 1/4 inch table will play almost like a 4 1/2 will play with broken ends. So for 1 pocket 9 ball with new cloth, this is just ideal conditions, and hats off to Pat Fleming and the whole crew. The way they've set things up is as a pool player, I look at these conditions and it literally makes me want to play.
Yeah,
it's so rare to get to play with such perfect, pristine conditions.
Completely new arena lighting.
Yeah.
I mean, more space. Everything looks good.
Yeah, this is as good as it gets, and the players are going to play to their real ability on the tables like this. But 4 1/4 is a lot tighter. I mean, you don't see it on camera, but 4 1/4 plays much tighter than 4 1/2 on a lot of shots that are out in the middle of the table, and that will show up, especially as the pressure ratchets up, and just.
Yeah, no matter what, you want to try to keep him off of making that 13 ball.
Yeah.
So even if you can take a foul in such a way that he can't just one rail kick at the 13.
That's right.
But it doesn't look like it's there. And, I see. He's going to move the 1 ball down to
trying to block that lane. That was actually pretty smart what he tried to do there. It didn't work, but it was the right idea.
Right. Now, you still got to hit a good kick shot here.
Mm-hmm.
What you were talking about, the 4 1/4 inch pockets. My friend Tim, he asked me, 4 1/2 inch pockets with broken cloth, or 4 1/4 inch pockets with brand new cloth, new balls. What do you think plays looser? And I think the 4 1/2 inch pockets with broken cloth are tighter.
Yeah,
4 1/4.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the game, and it also here's the thing that I think is overlooked, not by players like you, but it's the humidity. If you get into a humid room, you can have a 5-inch pocket table play impossible. And I mean, I used to live down in Mississippi and Louisiana, and you can get on a table in Vegas with 4 1/8 inch pockets and polished balls, and everything will go in like it's supposed to. Yeah, the humidity plays a big role. And you live in one of the most humid places I've ever seen out there in Illinois. And, the humidity really will affect it.
We're proud of our humidity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I live in California in the desert, and there's none, and the tables just play fantastic. But
good
wow,
shot.
wow!
I wondered if
Look
he
at
was
this.
kicking at that. Great shot.
Yes.
Boy, he's pinned it in there again.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nguyen can just knock this in, though, so he can escape the...
Right, but it was a great play because look at how well he controlled the cue ball there, too. The cue ball didn't just go running wild on a shot like that and could have inflicted a lot of damage.
Nguyen wants to shoot a bank here. You just know he does. He's like, listen, I have a 9-foot cue. I'm shooting. Oh, don't scratch. Well, you're leaving the bank doing that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to...
I kind of thought he might go rail first and then bigger the 11-ball up table and just pin the cue ball.
That's right. Yeah, that would have been better.
I don't know if it would have been better, but anyway, I thought that's what this turned out okay. Not great.
Yeah, when you leave them a free bank like this, it's to a
Pretty
one
good.
pocket player, this is just almost like ball in hand. They're going to hit it pretty good. The 9-7 doesn't go, so this is pretty free. He'd like to go right into the 5 ball here. Well, you don't want to sell it out. Yeah, that's perfect.
Boy, he's just laying him
Yeah,
in there every
sure
time.
is. Sure is.
No, this is hard to deal with. You're going to have to gamble.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really don't see
No,
anything.
anything that you do is going to require, gambling. So you sometimes can buy yourself one more inning, but at some point you are going to have to gamble.
Even if he shoots and sticks on the 14, I think, and he might luck in the 2, but I think he'd leave a cut on the 11. Yeah, so, I mean, this is just,
This is ugly.
you could, it's tough to do. You could come off the 5 and lay the cue ball behind the 10, and you could softly kick behind the 10.
I don't know if we can grab the overhead real quick for that, Schmidt. Let's just see. Not yet. No. There it is. Now you can do it.
He might be able to just lag the cue ball down here and right behind this 10 and double him. I mean, it's still death because they'll just keep you there, but
at least it buys you a chance down the way.
Oh, he's going for the bank with shape on the balls here. Bottom left English. If this goes in, he's got a chance. Well,
that English really stiffened it up,
sure
I think.
did.
Now we're going to get to see an offensive display here by Jesus.
Big game here. Go ahead 2-1. They just had a one-pocket tournament over in Europe, and it was a bunch of players in like Holland, and they said they had never really played the game, and they loved it, and everybody had a blast.
I didn't even know
and my wife, I mean, she had never seen one pocket till 8-10 years ago, and her email now is, I love one pocket. So she thinks it's a fantastic game, and I do too. I just think it's the best pool game.
It offers creativity.
Yeah, I mean,
shots aren't numbered for you. You got to do some thinking, and then you have to support it with execution.
Well, look at you and I when we were practicing at your house. I mean, we've played pool our whole life, and what did we want to play for fun? We were just playing for fun, and we said, let's play ratio 3-1 pocket.
It wasn't for fun. Remember, you skinned me out of lunch, and
no, you beat me. You beat me the last set. So
smothered.
You shot me full of holes the last set. I loved it when you'd miss it. You'd say, I'm paralyzed. No, you actually played good. That last set, I couldn't believe everything you made on a 5x10 with 4.25 inch pockets, or 4.5 inch pockets. Table's brutal. Perfect. All right, so he needs 3 more. I think he pops back for the 3 here with bottom left English.
Yeah, no matter what you do, if you can just get 2 from here, then if you have to play a 2-1 combo and it hangs, you're all good.
I mean, yeah, that's the shot.
You don't have to get a home run.
No,
just get 2 balls from here for sure, and then whatever you got to do.
Yeah, and the 2-1's pretty dead. Perfect. And like I said, remember I said how it's a 1-inning game, very offensive. Banks go. You have to be a great mover on equipment like this, and the misconception is that this isn't real one pocket. That real one pocket is on 4-inch pockets with old cloth, and I disagree.
Yeah.
You have to know how to defend well because mistakes show up more on a table like this.
That's right.
Does that sound crazy?
No. I completely agree from experience.
Because on a real tight table, you could do something dumb and just they don't run any balls.
Right.
So it's like you can move terrible and doesn't get penalized.
You can get away with it
right.
a lot of times.
Yeah.
Okay, 2-1. Jesus Atencio in front. He will be breaking. This will be his last break of the match.
Yep, he's a great player. I've watched him play rotation. Great player, polite young man, respectful to his opponents, and a star of the sport and somebody you're going to see for a long time. And plays good, too. I'll tell you what, he's going to win tournaments. And that shows how broad pool is getting, Mark. When I was first playing in the late 90s, I mean, nobody from Venezuela played 9-ball. And they sure didn't play incredible like him. Yeah. So now you have people from Guatemala, Peru, the youngster that won the Texas Open from Peru, great player. I mean, we're talking 750, 800 Fargo guys from countries that didn't even play the game 15 years ago. So pool is being spread around the world, which is fantastic.
Once again, Atencio moves the cue ball way off the side cushion to prevent that corner ball from leaking out. Mm-hmm. He didn't mean to bump it again, but it didn't work out too bad.
No, he's got the 3 hanging. He has to kick the 3 in. Now you could follow through the 13-14 and make the 3. That's dangerous, but I mean, you got to make this 3 ball somehow.
That's right. And you can do what John said. But it's just that if you ever hit it a micro off, then you leave it hanging, and the cue ball will be close to it.
And the 13-14's on his side, and it's just no good. Big game here, because if Nguyen can get this game, it's hill, and he's breaking. So
looks like he thinks he can just go rail first.
Yeah, just spin it real soft. Nice shot.
Okay. Good result.
This is one of those times where I'm kind of a fan of the in rail. I just come off something, put him way up table, and see what he figures out. And if he wants to shoot the 5, I mean, well, the 5 could be free because he could drip under the 14. Now you can't leave him up table here.
I don't know if can you play the 15 into the 7? Is that what, he's not even looking at that?
I think he's hitting the 5 into the stack, which I like, of course.
If you can get enough of it,
yeah, that's a good shot. Oh, that's great. Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah.
Did the 11 get dead?
No,
it has to be a little high, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, in these slick balls, I think it's too high.
Mm-hmm.
Even. I don't think it's maneuverable. But yeah, that shot right there, not doing anything crazy.
That's right.
And it still required some control because he got that cue ball very near scratching. And once it gets that close, it's out of your control. Mm-hmm. You can only kind of
hope.
Nobody said, yeah, but it worked out great. Now,
I think here, you can't do much here. I kind of like him just going through like the right side of the 2 ball, laying over against the rail. I mean, when you start elevating like this, oh well, that was a great shot. Boy, he made that look easier than it was what he just did right there.
Well, he did a lot of good things there.
A lot
you
of
have
good
the cue ball sailing with that speed, and a lot of good things can happen, but it doesn't always have to work out.
No, that was really a great shot and might win him the game.
That was one of those defining moments of the rack right there, getting through that exchange.
It's funny you say that because, like I was talking about, when I was playing 25 years ago, like I didn't realize when I was losing the game because I was kind of new to it. And so when I started getting painted it into a corner by my opponent, I really didn't have a sense of like, this is my last chance. And, of course, I've played it so much now I can see like it's time to go here. Mm-hmm. But I would be losing and not even realize I'm losing yet. And Nguyen, I think, sensed it right there and knew I have to rearrange the furniture here because I'm losing the game.
Pretty free kick here at the 6.
Yeah, pretty free kick. Oh. But that, you know what? That happens to me a lot when I kick at that. And you always go, how did the cue ball go through a ball? Yeah. But I do that a lot.
If you get the second cushion just slightly first, it doesn't happen that way. But if you get ball first, then it kind of wiggles on through there.
Well, Nguyen's got a chance. If he gets up above this 13-11, he might be able to throw it downhill enough to make it and clip the 14. So shoot the 8, put the cue ball in the middle of the table, and then play that combination, and you might be able to make the combo and open up the 14. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Here on the overhead, it looks just a little bit
It looks too much.
I don't know, but
it's close,
you can't tell. Yeah, we'll be able to tell now,
What's
though.
he doing here, drawing? Oh.
He tried to develop that 13 ball.
Uh-huh. Now, the problem here, you can't trade a long for a short bank. If he shoots at this 14 and it doesn't go in, you're leaving baby bank. So I would not advise this shot.
Mm-hmm. He needs to get some balls on this side of the table and off of Atencio's side.
That's right.
Of the table.
Shoot the 6 into the 2 and just bang them all up table and over to your side.
And you can control the cue ball
Yeah.
quite well there. I like that shot.
Yeah. I mean, as of right now, they look like they're playing on a cruise ship. I mean, every ball is hanging there. Now, that's a good shot.
Boy.
That's a game changer.
That was. Boy,
Very
he got
nice.
a lot done with that. And in case it rubbed that 11 ball
That's
open.
right.
It
That's
didn't,
right.
but it should have.
Now, do you like kicking 2 rails and coming off the 6 and running the cue ball a little up table, or do you just thin off this 14 real soft to the end rail? I mean, that's sort of an either or. Either one works.
I'm kind of
there.
a coward, so I rub the 14
I just rub it,
and duck down there. But,
Yeah.
if you do play the other shot, you have to be willing to foul.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. This is the part of the game that's fascinating, especially when you're kind of new to it. Like, you don't even know when you've messed up when they're laying like this.
Yeah, he didn't get much done there.
Well, he knows he messed up there.
Yeah.
Although, you sell out the 13 possibly if you don't make this 6. But I would shoot the 6 maybe into the 14 so that the cue ball just goes up to the top middle diamond or something like that.
Yeah, you can bank the 6, right at the 14.
Yeah.
And then you're mainly playing the cue ball along the side rail, and you're going to have to take the side pocket out of it because that point's big.
That's right.
So then it's a speed control issue. So you're not going to make anything here. You're just getting the 6 on your side and preventing the cue ball from getting down below that 15 ball.
Now, the other way to play it, and this one, you just bank it with pace and go 3 rails.
Oh, great shot. Great shot.
Yeah, and just play shape on the 9. I like the way he played that.
Here's the thing. How much do you actually give up if you fail?
I mean, I'll let Arculo shoot the 7 ball from there,
And if he does, you got one hanging in your pocket, and that frees you up when you can play it like that.
Yeah, and if you make it, you're perfect on the 9. If you miss it, he has to come with a great shot. So that was very pool savvy of him to shoot it that way. And, you let him play one pocket for 5-10 years, and he'll be, he's already tough.
Yeah, I'd say. We had 48-player field here. We had only 44 players enter.
That's a good
still
size.
good.
Yeah, that's a good size one pocket tournament,
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, proud of that. That's the first year we did one pocket, I believe.
It isn't like poker where everybody that enters is like, I can win. One pocket.
No, you got to be good.
Yeah.
Get in this group. Did he get out there enough for the 10? That's what he's looking at.
I think he can make the 10, but maybe can't do much with the cue ball.
So he might offer at the 1 here first.
Yeah, I can't quite tell what he's looking at here. I think he's going to try to draw back and then cut the 1. Nice shot.
Oh, good shot.
Nice shot.
Now, if he can lightly bump into the 13-11, then it's probably over.
You could also just go between the 13-14 and come out to the middle and play shape on the 7 or the 2 or the 4.
I think that's better.
I kind of like that, don't you?
Based on how you hit the pocket, whether you hit the bottom side of that 13 or full, and so you're taking so much gamble.
Yes.
You don't need to.
No, this is just he might even draw above him and get on the 4. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah.
Although, look what happens. You leave a combination you don't want to shoot, an 11 ball right by his hole.
No, I think he should have played it without going into that ball.
Yeah.
It didn't go in his Nguyen's pocket anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't have to take a chance, and there was a lot of ways it doesn't turn out good. It could be perfect, though, if he hit it just right. But
it's interesting as a commentator sitting 20 feet up above the table, though, how you can kind of like to see all that, but when you're down there playing, it's all like a blur, you know? And, you have to go with your gut instinct right then. And I don't fault him for what he did there, but I liked your shot where you just go between them and run out. He'll probably make this combo, though. I'll tell you what, the way these are laying, you might regret that. I mean, you're dealing with a guy that won the Asian games, and if anybody knows about that, I mean, that's like the best players in the world out there. I mean, killer.
Yeah.
Killer field.
Well, this is his chance. He needs 7.
Bunch of middle right English and try to climb above the third. Oh, he's playing for the 14. Well, that took a lot of guts because that had to be hit so perfect that.
Wow, you're betting the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, as good as he plays, he'll probably cut this in. But he better. Oh boy. Yeah, I got away from him a little bit. Well, pool's a tough game. You're going to miss some. I kind of liked him getting up above those balls there, though. It's easy in hindsight to say that was the wrong choice. But to fall in that little tiny position window, I think was asking too much, maybe.
Well, you could see in his body language
Yeah.
when he shot it, he had a couple little feathers, moved his body, hoping it would go in. He didn't, like, if it would be different if he, was real comfortable with his execution, dealing with a miss. But he sort of groomed up the miss there.
Yeah.
He didn't like it. He didn't like where he got, but he forced himself to shoot it, and it was reflected in his stroke. Does a 7 go? I guess so.
I mean, I think so.
Then it's just roll across. Hit it pure.
Dead stroke.
Little hop off the rail.
When you got hair that cool, you better make it. You know what I mean?
Playing for 2.
Got to see a lot of nice shots and moves and banks, and that was an entertaining match. It looks like Jesus is going to win it. And it's fun working with you, Mark.
Oh, thank you, John. I really think the deciding factor there was 3 times playing safe on the wrong side of the stack. I think that
you'll learn from that. Yep.
Yep. Okay, we certainly all appreciate your time. That's our time for this time. Until next time, so long.